this particular game they're having up against Smart Omega. So the respect is definitely going to be there. They do not want a round 2 of that Ogwen disaster that was given to them in
Rounder
game number 1.
2.
So Masha is no longer possible here.
Apbren
Could I be
melawan
hoping for the
OMG.
chip? I'm hoping for the chip, but maybe not, or maybe yes.
Oh, Brigida, don't be afraid to hope for the chip. Everyone hopes for the chip.
Trying to get away.
Mr. Nice hopes for the gourd every time. He just doesn't say it. You know, we all do that sometimes, especially when you see a very
Oh.
interesting mechanic with
yeah.
that chip. I would love to see it.
I want to feel like how Naisu always feels when he sees the gourd being
Yeah.
picked up. So I wonder what.
Nice who waited years to get Gord in the meta, all right?
So many years.
Chip just came out, so...
Yeah.
Okay, a little bit of waiting, but since Smart Omega will be in the first or in the blue side,
Get riled
this
up
time,
Vexana.
Yeah.
Or give Lewis an Arlott.
Yeah, I feel like they should be going for those 2 picks. It's the Vexana or the other comfort heroes for Ryle, but if they would really want to prioritize the pressure and the setups as well, the Arlott for Luis is up for grabs in this draft. So
Yeah, Ryle's not in a rush because he has a
Yeah.
Valentina too. He's a solid Valentina.
and the Faramis and the he's been using a lot of actually utility, even the Angela. So but the Angela is not here. So Vexana immediately, yeah, there.
You know what? I really like having Brigida here from all this MDL knowledge really
That's
starting
right.
to very apparent. He
She's had-
basically drafted a single hero per player. I love what
history.
you did there.
Dude, history. And you were still in the MDL when they almost made it to the championship.
Yeah,
when
that-
they were in the grand finals.
Yeah, that was historical. It was the upper bracket run for them. So they were really dominant in that tournament. So right now, yeah,
It was Echo
Yeah.
Proud who went through the bottom.
Echo Proud went through the
Lower bracket?
So
There it is.
yeah, that was how dominant they were in the previous season of MDL. But you can see the transition to the MPL.
That was about 6 months ago.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Here's the Grok and the
Oh.
Roger. The answer by Apbren. This is as early as it gets for Grok, is it not?
Oh yeah, actually
That's
that's
true.
surprising. So probably if you decide to go for the Claude, there's an immediate answer coming in here. Oh, I thought I was able to join the selfie. But then right now that they have the Grok
Apbren.
and the Wild Charge, so we're not so
Okay,
sure
go
if
on
they're
it,
going to
okay.
be immediately picking up the Jome hero. Because again, this is Roger. And it's going to be used by Super Marco this time. Again, similar to earlier. So they won't be prioritizing the marksman for Jome just yet.
there
They're
it is.
saving it.
You know, I've been waiting for this Baksha because you know the way that Matt played that Frederick earlier felt like a Baksha. He was waiting inside the
Oh.
Lord Pit, feeling like I have a way out. No, you don't have a way out. You're a Frederick, bro. What are you doing there?
It's not the same, yeah.
It felt like muscle memory there in that moment. So I'm glad that to see that Matt will be back on the Baksha.
And this makes sense is because, in addition to what you said about Matt and Baksha and Matt, the fact that they're protecting Jome more now.
Yeah.
Because Jome did okay against the Masha Ogwen, right?
Yep.
Now what if you protect him even more? What if you really just set it up so that Jome succeeds?
Yeah, I mean, we can kind of relate it to the previous situation with RSG. The moment they decided to pay more attention to how they're going to take care of Kusei,
Pattern, guys.
and things changed a lot for like how or the way they were able to eventually play. So for this time, that they might just be already acknowledging just how impactful Jome could probably be when he's on his own.
Yep.
What more if they actually provide the necessary support for him to do just that? And so far, we're seeing them being a little bit more well-rounded because right now, Ryle, he's able to pick up Vexana, so they have an immediate answer to whoever wants to go for the engage. And at the same time, they have the frontliners. They have the front, they have the setup, they have the control. There's the Baksha and the Arlott. In the Filipino desk, they call this the Vexana +2 kind of thing. So they kind of like have a better or a more well-rounded start to this draft as compared to earlier. Because compared to earlier as well, Bren's first 3 picks aren't that I take it back. It's very unpredictable because the Grok was quite early as well as the Roger. So
Still don't know.
Still don't know.
Yeah, it was still up for grabs here. Obviously, right now, Bren trying to see if they can make it harder for the life of the XP laner here. And right now, I would have actually liked the CC. That would have
Yeah.
been a shame. I was
It's-
actually hoping for a flap TZ CC here.
CC's stocks have been dwindling.
That's true,
She
though.
used to be ban-worthy.
Yeah.
I mean, in the first phase, like that's how high her priority was. Now she's like, all right, let's just
Yeah.
put it up.
Yeah.
Let's just make sure that these heroes go where we expect them to.
Oftentimes, CC is really accompanied by either the Angela or typically a support hero. It was only Bren who actually got to mix and match, like the CC together with the Minotaur, the CC together with the Matilda. But those options aren't really available right now
Minotaur.
because both the Minotaur as well as the
Matilda.
Matilda, they're banned out. So we might just like see a
Bren,
different
Matilda.
Flap Easy hero this time. So I mean,
Yeah,
both the
Maria.
X-Borg and the Paquito as well, they're still open. The Lapu as well, it's not possible for us to see that. But so is the Benedetta. So Omega, they're really taking out the Louis no matter what.
Uy!
Is there any chance that we can see a Grok on XP and Chip on Rome?
Oh,
Is there any chance for that for Bren? What do you think?
I'm not
Louis?
counting it out,
I don't wanna. I don't wanna. Yeah, I don't wanna hope too much.
but
But,
I don't see a world
I
where
feel like, yeah.
Flap Teasy plays the Grok. It's been a while.
yeah, Ogwen for Grok, 100%.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
All right, so first pick up here. I'd say. What are they covering up? The XP lane. That's really the only flex here.
Yeah, the X-Borg might be a good pick for this Baksha as well. But I feel like they're being also careful. They have a lot of options as well. And okay, let's
Oh.
not get the X-Borg. Let's just get the answer to the X-Borg.
Yep, there's the mid laner for AP Bren. Now Smart Omega. Where do they go from here? They have to finish their draft here. This is for all of the marbles. Cards on the table for the barangay.
Yeah, we're not too surprised right now here. I wonder if Omega will surprise us with a money gold laner here. What gold laner can kind of go toe to toe against a Roger? I think that's a big question. Like, can you even make it out of the laning phase against Super Marco?
I mean, Chome, I think, has only ever used the Claude carry
Claude
and the
yes, yeah.
Ruby. But the Ruby was, again, with the Nathan jungle that they used last time.
Carry.
So
Oh,
they will be
carry
using the
sa
carry
Paquito,
instead.
masaya.
And the Paquito, no X-Borg for this game. So they're just
Wow.
going all out on the damage as well. And they're taking out some heroes from AP Bren.
All the more I appreciate that Smart Omega actually checked AP Bren's bluff. Like seeing still that there's an Arlot, AP Bren banned the Yuzhong, saying yeah, that Arlot better go where we expect it to go. And Smart Omega said, no, you're not telling us what to do here. They send it over to the Rome and then put an XP Paquito into the field here.
Oh,
And they still go for the export.
Exactly, wow. Tit for tat. AP Bren says, okay. All right, it's like that, huh?
So in the previous game, we saw this X-Borg get pummeled to death by a Paquito.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to wait and see if that's going to be the case here as well.
yeah, it's an X-Borg being picked up regardless of
Focus.
the presence of a Paquito, regardless of the Vexana as well. So they're just really being confident this time. AP Bren, they know that they're just so capable.
You know what? Matchup be damned. It's okay. It's Flap Teasy.
It's flat.
It's Flap. He's just
Dua
gonna
ya guys ya.
play around it.
Happy
And
Bren
again,
melawan
what is he afraid of
OMG.
besides a Paquito, right? There's very little CC that's reliable from Smart Omega. You have the final slash, and you have Matt jumping onto you. That's it.
That's right.
You require an ult or a good placement for the Vexana for you to get CC'd by that.
Yeah, and I don't think he will be threatened by Jome until, let's say the mid portions of the game, until he gets the necessary items. So if we see the same kind of Flap TZ using the X-Borg, I mean, it's been a very remarkable, even in previous international tournaments, we've seen him use this hero. There's just no saying just how pressuring this game is going to be for Omega, but this is, again, very high stakes. They definitely would want to at least bring us to a game number 3.
It's an invariable element here. Flap TZ is looking, wow, even in the face of two. Even in the face of two from Smart Omega. Looking at the opening emblems here. Oh yeah, okay, cool. That's about normal.
Yep. It's Super Marco once again wanting to be really aggressive, especially with the Master Assassin being
Yep.
picked up. So they don't want the same scenario to happen. That
yeah.
Drome is actually getting to manage the lane pretty well. And we're seeing it right now in the minimap, at least. He's actually pressuring Drome to stay under the turret because look at the damage he's able to throw out.
Yeah, there's a lot of fret here from Omega, but that's something that's going to come in later. like way later, especially in the case of Joan. Unless you count out Luis, which obviously the newly buffed Paquito can do massive amounts of damage in the early game. But that's depending on the target. And depending on whether or not the target will present himself here, as we do see, Caltisi going straight at it, forcing a flicker out, but still getting the kill onto Mart.
That was difficult because Mark didn't even hit
guys.
level. The roamers aren't at level 4 yet. So there's very little Mark can do to protect himself.
And Apbren got all the like routes covered, even few wherever. Even if he was able to actually get past that gorgeous barrier, he will literally just receive the stun and eventually the damage, the continuous damage coming in here from few. So that was a beautiful pickup coming in, or pickoff coming in here from Apbren prior to this turtle. And we're seeing how they're slowly establishing the lead once again up against Smart Omega.
Yep, big 4-man presence here in the turtle pit. Ogwin first to the scene, pulling it just slightly over the Apbren side. Up top!
Oh boy! We got a bit of a punch back here from Jome. Of course, the shielding gonna come in just in clutch for Mr. Super Marco. Looks calculated, but the fight's gonna happen here around the turtle area. Down goes Mr. Gush here. Low HP onto Matt, but we'll be able to make it out at least at the nick of time.
Okay.
Very good exchange here. Smart Omega not allowing Apbren to get clear wins here. And look at Lewis, he's playing the flank.
Yep. This is a different situation for Apbren. There's pressure for few. There's pressure for their damage dealers. But there are two separate fights happening. And will they be able to take a pick off? Seems like no.
Okay, so something tells me Omega had no intent of ever stealing that turtle. They just sent bodies over there to make it a longer take because Matt just walked away. Matt just went and took his purple, and now he's going for the orange, if I'm not mistaken.
The timeless idol.
Second player to win 100 matches in MPL Philippines history.
Carl Tizzy was the first. And at some point, funnily enough, they were teammates. So look at the greatness, look at the legacy of excellence that these two players are following in each other's footsteps too.
Apparently here it's not inherited. It's kind of like contagious.
Again?
Greatness is contagious here for these guys.
Oh wait, Lewis!
Oh, Luis, you're too
Okay,
deep
no.
in, bro. Oh,
That's
with
it.
Cal TZ
Massive
catching
Luis.
you and Flap TZ on the side. The new TZ brothers in town making it hard for it.
That was a
Gila,
trade
Raja.
here for Smart Omega.
Raja
As,
dan segala
they
raja
were
nih,
able
guys.
to, for Apbren rather, as they were able to take out or take down few in the mid lane earlier as well. So come to think of it, those were that was a trade for them, but the gap wasn't really closed. It's still in favor of Apbren, and they're still managing this lead pretty much or pretty well. If we look at it, even in the laning right now, they're not really feeling the pressure yet.
Nope, not much. Again, every time Omega goes for a player, whenever Apbren wins an objective, they're able to really close out the gap. At most, Omega just takes their own camp. Nothing across the map just yet.
Not seeing it yet. Right now in the upcoming Turtle, I don't know if the same thing will happen, that Omega just will be sending out bodies, or will they be contesting it this time? Because Apbren, even or prior to that Turtle, they want something to happen. They want to take something away from Smart Omega, and that's the purple buff right here of Matt.
Yeah, they're going to be spending a lot of resources, and I think it will still go over to Matt.
Yep, but he uses Retribution just as the turtle spawned.
Oh, it's a trap.
Oh,
And they fell for it. He was forced to use a Retribution.
there was no other way. They need to catch up, or they can't be left behind. Currently, there is already an existing level gap between these two junglers,
Oh,
and they can't
Look
afford
at this.
to expand it any further.
Oh.
But
Oh, the beauty of the situation, if only Kyle TZ was maybe 2 or 3 seconds earlier, he could have Retribution the orange away from Matt as well.
it's a difficult situation if you were the jungler of Smart Omega this time. You're supposed to be the one establishing the space and the opportunities for your team, but they're being denied so much, even in your own jungle.
We're getting into snowball territory here for Apbren. You know, those small things really start to stack up on top of each other. Such a simple thing like whether or not you use the Retribution on the turtle, you had the freedom to not use the Retribution, so you could use it again. So these things, these small things are really stacking up for the bees here.
Yeah, it's also a result of how beautifully executed their early game was. There are already several established level gaps between the players and their laning counterparts.
Tama.
At the same time, we don't feel like they're being that pressured by the potential flanks coming in here from, let's say, Luis and whatnot. But still, it's there. But we're not seeing them literally meeting when it matters the most.
Which makes for a yin and yang, or I don't know, you take the good with the bad type of situation, because yes, the aforementioned Paquito not doing what we expected it to do to burst down the X board.
Yeah.
We were expecting Flap to walk in and say, hey, how do I even last insanity? I rarely have any Faraga armor. No, for the first 5 or 6 minutes of this game now, it's been a win for that lane down bottom.
Yeah.
But compare that to top lane, wherein Jome actually is again doing what he did in game 1 in an unconventional manner, winning that lane, or at least as much as you can win against a Roger.
Yeah.
So there it is again. I think we're following very closely in the same path, or at least the way that game 1 went, which is, again, I think I'd like to be an optimist this time around. A good thing for Smart Omega, because they already know what happens if you miss out those windows, if you overcommit in certain places.
Yeah.
So maybe here they can do better.
So it might just be time for them to divert some of their attention at least to prioritizing or taking care of the gold lane. Because if Joom is really just doing this great of a job on his own, then it might just be time that they provide the support for him to further get the advantage and at least win out a lane if they don't necessarily are able to secure or contest the objectives such as the turtle. Because earlier we've seen the attempt, the presence of Smart Omega around that turtle pit, but they did not necessarily go in for the victory contestation. And this time around that we're seeing another turtle not being contested by Smart Omega, we gotta ask, like, where exactly are they allotting, or where exactly are they going for the trades? What are the trades? What are they doing? All the while Bren is continuously establishing and stacking up the lead that they have up against Smart Omega.
Which is weirder, because there's a Baksha. You're supposed to be faster on the rotation.
That's true. You're almost always supposed to be ahead.
Yeah.
You start these fights. But yeah, what Bren is basically doing is, like, trading off. They're not getting kills, right? They're not getting as much kills as we thought.
Low kill count game, yeah.
Right now. But they're getting something. There's always getting something. That, like, getting a small lead on top side, like pushing Jome back a little bit, and then Jome pushing forward again. That buys time. That buys a lot of time for, like, the rest of the team to do what they need to do around these turtle pits, and that's why Bren's ahead right now. So
I think, or I mean, that's also what they were able to do in game number 1.
Guys, trouble nyo guys.
The odds just went against them.
yeah, in game 1 it was like multiplied.
It
It
was
was
like,
a massive amount.
I'm afraid that might be true, Rockheart. I'm afraid that Smart Omega are planting seeds for a tree that they will not be able to see.
Yeah.
Because right now, yes, Jome's lane hasn't been cracked through. There aren't many kills. Wait, that was a final slash. All right, never mind. See, so he hasn't died just yet, nor has Super Marco here about 6 minutes in. So there is no payoff just yet. And in an investment, there's no dividends to this yet. Once it does pay off, or when we confirm that it hasn't worked, where does Smart Omega go from there?
It's a question. It's really looking at what are they doing during these times where the lead is just continuously growing for Apbren, because as we're seeing it right now, there aren't really any trades. Even in the previous game, we've reached a point when even they were able to occasionally get out of the map, there were minimal or little to no turrets taken down from Apbren, so the space is just really so narrow for them to move, and right now that's exactly what Apbren is doing. They're continuously taking down the objectives.
Yeah, there seems to be multiple fights happening right now, and one of them is, of course, under this turret with Jome being basically put very, very low. Ogwend with wild charge, and the follow-up here from Mart. Now that's a pretty good one flash, but the damage is not quite there yet. It's a lot of people and 5 bodies, including the Eternal Guard here, available for Omega. And they're just going to be trading up Mart for it.
Oh, Super Marco, his passive kicks in. At least, no, when you click the skill, of course, now it kicks in. Everyone was so low, he was bloodthirsty, he went for the kill.
Yeah, and even if that final slash was really well timed, to think that Apbren there, this tanky, and even Ogwen is just able to immune himself and continuously make his presence felt and chase after the members of Smart Omega, they weren't really able to get anything. They were almost there, but it was not enough, and the tables were turned against them. It's really difficult to commit against this lineup of Apbren if you're not able to take out Super Marco first, or even Few, which earlier, supposedly Few was about to fall down, but that wild charge as well prevented Smart Omega from taking him out.
Look at this. Oh, man. Disaster is happening all around here. First of all, Mark getting taken out. And if you saw on the bottom side, Luis getting whittled down to a crisp 1v1 by the gold laner.
By Super Marco.
By
And now
Super
he's just
Marco.
moving on from hero to turret, turret to hero, crossing over. And just now, a moment ago, Big J was trying to push that top lane. Big J was trying to make the most. Again, we're looking for these trades. And now we're getting the answer to the question that we asked. Where is the investment paying off? And right now, it's not. It's
really
difficult.
isn't.
They're down about 5K.
That decision to clear the minion wave late was so interesting coming in from Super Marco. They're really making the waves or pushing the waves towards Smart Omega's side. So there's so much pressure.
Oh, my goodness, Luis almost evaporated here. And that wasn't even full-powered Mystic. Gosh, he was able to make it out in time, but the damage is just unreal here coming in from the Roger.
And he needed to pop some skills to get extra shields
True.
to not die.
Oh,
They need
Goodness.
every little bit of health. They need every little bit of a life to make sure that this 5K gold lead does not balloon out of control. And look at this, mission successful here for Big J, eventually able to crack that top lane tier 1.
Yep, so we're starting to see, bit by bit, the trades or the answers that Smart Omega are trying to do. Though it is quite a bit late, 8 minutes into the game, but Mark will be able to find Few.
all right. Interesting use of the flicker
Oh, no.
final slash there, trying to catch Few, but instead it is Mark who falls victim here to Apbren and Jom as well. Not going to be able to make it out here. Flicker already used as well. It's everything's crumbling down for Omega right now.
That's a 4-man collapse. 5-man collapse. I didn't even notice everyone was in there because there was a bottom lane push from Lewis. But still, 3 bodies for a turret down bottom. I'd say that's not worth it.
That fight was so well covered for Apbren. Imagine Kyle TV was there behind, just waiting for the members who were trying to run away. And at the same time, the Appraiser's Wrath, coupled with the last Insanity, it seemed impossible for you to escape that kind of combo coming in from Apbren. So right now, another Lord objective will fall into their hands. Once again, the 8-minute or the first Lord will be taken by Apbren.
That's a fresh Lord. Actually, I'm surprised it took that long. We are now approaching 10 minutes in, and it's things like this that allow for that 3-man collapse to happen. First Mark goes, and then underneath tier 1, Apbren says, let's go.
Yeah, Kaltizi really caught them by surprise as well from the back.
Oh no, Ogwen.
Owen? That might have been a kill here coming in from Omega, but Owen used the wild charge. Flapteasy, oh my goodness! That's a 5-man zone there with the last Insanity.
Not even the flicker was used. But
You stay in there for a second more, you're dead.
They had to. They had to flicker out there.
yeah, so
Okay, so now Apbren in the ahead, cleaning up house. No more tier 2 turrets, just the inhibitors left for the new barangay. And just like that, it's deja vu. We're back to the same shape these two were in game 1.
And we're back at it again. It's looking like it is going to be Omega who are against the ropes here. Apbren just, walking around the outside the base just like sharks in the water.
starting, even the shockwaves coming in from the inhibitor turrets were already triggered here for Apbren. Flapteasy gets caught.
And there it is, Flapteasy, he's under there. And he's not going to be worrying about an exit. He will find one with turret going down.
Whoa.
Matt as well, faced head-on with the Appraiser's Wrath.
It's
Going for the chase here,
looking for the
Luis.
shutdown.
He is hungry for blood here. He's been trying to get these kills, but it's Ryle who goes down instead.
Flapteasy with the last-minute flicker, costing Smart Omega. They lose 2 on the way out, plus that top lane inhibitor, and there's a big wave in mid.
oh no, they're back. Oh,
And there it is, the desperation final slash, who very well may be the final slash of this game.
Oh, they cracked open mid. Bottom lane might be up next. Again, they're sandbagging this big wave, and there's just 3 defenders left. Ryle's going to be in here for that last defense.
Yeah, one more Eternal Guard, maybe on a crucial target here. Super Marco, very, very healthy, but will be able to force Apbren back, at least for now.
Guys, pasalubong guys, phone
But
guys.
AP Bren, they're so happy with that. They got out all the, or they took out all the inhibitor turrets, and
Yeah.
it's less than a minute before the next Lord spawns because it's been that long. So right now we're seeing Smart Omega literally in the same position again, but unlike earlier, how will this turn around, or how this will turn out for them? Because it's no longer a Claude, it's no longer multiple targets being here or possible for.
Oh, look at
Oh,
that!
Apbren, Apbren.
Wow, that
Okay.
final slash activated by Mark here.
Sweet.
That made a big difference. That might prolong this game even
Okay.
further.
That looked like a frustration final slash.
It did.
He's been trying to catch that since the 5-minute mark. He's been trying to do that right here in mid lane tier 1. But okay, considering that, we might see another Lord, yes, but I don't think Smart Omega is in a shape to contest still because Ogu is going to make it in time.
4v5. Yeah, 8 seconds for Ogwen.
Ogu is going to make it.
AP Bren can kind of delay this and force them to push back.
Yep.
Oh, Mati Luis.
Luis, though, could be in
Mati Luis.
trouble with the pushback here. Oh, that's a nice dodge for the Prince
Mati
Raptor.
Luis.
Marco
Mati
is
Luis.
here to clean it up, making sure that his damage is felt
That's
here,
it. Oh.
even on Mark.
Mati Luis, double kill.
That wasn't even a flicker, Roger, but he was
Sumunta,
able to
hindi,
catch up.
hindi.
Just jumped in and
Endgame
used maximum range. Again, you might call him a
Mabor.
melee hero or even like a mid-range hero, but no, the number of dashes this hero has,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. So now they're gonna go ahead and take this Lord, unless Sir Matt, unless.
And Sir Matt, I don't know if you have enough tankiness to sustain against these
Matt,
4
Team
members
Matt.
of AP Bren and the Lord right there for you. Kyle
GG,
TZ takes it
Apbren.
out.
That was a last minute, last second decision for Smart Omega to say, you know what, Sir Matt, go, maybe try.
Go for it.
Maybe
Yeah.
try, and he did.
You would want to try at this point. I mean, the death timers aren't that long just yet. And we've been seeing this trend even in the previous game. They really want to risk it. They try to actually contest the retribution, but it never favors them. It's always almost a situation that's perfectly set up by AP Bren.
Yeah, big part of that obviously is the gap in items as well as levels right now.
Huge.
It is huge.
Approaching 12,000 gold at 14 minutes. That comes down to an average of maybe a full item per roll. But that's not the case, right? It's actually a huge gap on each core across the board. And yes, they do deny and they block the Lord here. But wait,
Look at the map. Actually, Luis is behind Few right now.
It's working.
Will it make a difference? Ogwen falls. And there's Joe. He's trying to get as much damage as he can into primary targets here, dodging out of the Mystic Gush, and they're able to make it out in time.
oh, they clear the waves.
They're
And the
busy
waves
with still
still
Luis.
standing. Luis in the back.
Luis, Marco, gilo kasi.
Okay,
Marco.
all right. 4v5.
4v5 right now, and a very, very weakened base stands in Omega as AP Bren trying to look to see if they can finish it once and for all. Jumps quite low, Super Marco's on it. Oh, he gets hit by the well, and that is going to be game.
Huge waves coming in from top, mid, and bottom. Overloading. Ang bagong barangay, giving our defending champions here the sweep. They get the victory, remaining undefeated.
They knew they